Once you get superpowers, being a superhero should be easy, right? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Don't forget to support this great industry by buying the comics yourselves in the link down below. For those of you guys wondering where this is when Sam Alexander first became Nova, so it's long before the all-new, all-different Marvel. It's a complete story in itself, so I wanted to tell you this story in multiple parts, picking up with Volume 2. When we last left off with Sam Alexander, he had discovered his father's old Nova helmet and discovered that his father had gone missing. He's now decided to seek him out, except that he's been a little distracted. The Avengers fought against the X-Men for the Phoenix Force, and he got wrapped up into that entire mess. At the end of the event, Thor invited him to join the Avengers, and he told Thor that he just needs to check with his mother. He tries to rationalize it with himself by stating denying Thor would be against his new religion, which is knowing Thor, because Thor is a god, the god of thunder. Problem is that it's been a few weeks since Sam has been home, and he thinks to himself, oh man, I'm so boned. And his mother catches him stating that. I don't know what that means, but yes you are. His mother demands to know where he's been, and before he can come up with a good excuse, the Nova helmet projects the recent events and Thor asking him to join the Avengers. She goes on to explain that she really doesn't care where he's been, she's just happy that he's back home. Before going back into the house though, she turns around and tells him, no, there's no way you're joining the Avengers, not now, not ever. His mother then makes him something to eat and he begins to explain where he was. The Watcher told him about a threat that he had to go help. And his mother says that before going off and doing other superhero things, maybe he should clean up the mess from his last adventure. You know, when he fought against Titus and destroyed the local skate park. But Sam tries to tell her he can't, he's Nova, a superhero. That's when his little sister comes in excited to see him. She goes on explaining that she misses the stories that their father used to tell them. And Sam tells her that he has some stories of his own, but they're kind of secret right now. That dad will be home soon, Thor willing. Knowing Thor is not a religion, his mother calls out. The next day, Sam goes back to school to deal with the aftermath of his father missing. The bullies are picking on him and he tried not to fight back, plus he has to deal with the principal. Eventually, Sam storms off home angry. Later at home, Sam's mother and sister come home to a spotless house and a note from Sam telling them that he's going to turn in early. Sam's mother goes over to the garage immediately to see Sam trying to put back on the Nova helmet, and she tells him to sit. She tells him about the time that she and his father were younger, and how his father had to choose between Sam's mother and his own mother, telling him how stubborn Grandma Alexander could be. Sam looks back up and asks, who's Grandma Alexander? And his mother just looks down and tells him, exactly. She isn't going to stop him from going out. She tells him that she thinks she may have raised him well enough to think before running off, possibly creating new messes, and that maybe he should go to bed. Sam's mom goes off to leave, but it turns out the only thing that Sam heard is that she's not going to stop him from going out. Just like that, he throws back on his helmet and he flies off to stop crime. Somewhere. He flies all the way to New York from Arizona. Considering that it's the crime capital of the world, he figures that he can find something to do. Before he can figure out what he should do next though, a light shines down on him and it's the military helicopter. Sam tries to tell him, hey, I'm the hero from the stars! But they don't seem to care and they open fire on him, making him fly away. Suddenly, a giant explosion can be seen in the distance, so Sam decides that this is his chance to finally be a superhero. He rushes off and he ends up running into Spider-Man. Spider-Man rescues some of the civilians while Sam tells him, that was great teamwork, Spidey! And Spider-Man continues to call him an idiot. He then tells him that the explosion was a controlled demolition, and he would have known that if he was listening to the police scanner. Thinking how that might actually be a good idea, Sam asks Spider-Man where he can get one. Spider-Man shrugs him off, so Sam tells him that he's kinda new to the whole superhero thing, and Spider-Man tells him that New York has way too many superheroes as it is, just look up. With that, in just as much time as it takes to explain all of this, Iron Man comes swooping through to go help someone. Spider-Man tells Sam that he should probably go off to another city with less superheroes. And Sam sits back thinking, wow, Spider-Man's really a dick. What Sam doesn't know is that this is during the period in which Dr. Octopus was actually in Spider-Man's body. Check out our video on Superior Spider-Man. Vance, also known as Justice, and Robbie Baldwin, also known as Speedball, sit on top of their truck that has run out of gas. Robbie tells Vance how this could be a sign to bring back the New Warriors, and that's when they look up and see Sam shooting through the night sky. Robbie jumps up, putting on his goggles, yelling, oh yeah, that's our sign, we're back! Sam goes all the way to the opposite side of the states to Los Angeles, where he sees an ice cream truck being chased by cops. He flies up to it, telling the clown driver to pull over. He's not sure how the superhero thing works just yet, so Sam grabs the driver to punch him, but just before he can, someone yells, cut! Looking back, Sam sees that he's actually on a movie set, and as the director tries to explain, he stops and says, see ya. Sam is confused, he doesn't know how to be a superhero, so he flies over to Hollywood, thinking back on what Spider-Man said about listening to a scanner to try and help people. The helmet then projects all of the recent news about superheroes, and Sam sees one news article stating that in Arizona they need help cleaning up after a superhero crashed into one of the skate parks. Thinking back, Sam finally decides it's time to go help clean up the mess that he made when he first got his helmet. Back over in Carefree, Arizona, some workers begin getting ready to clean up the mess of the skate park when they see Sam there lifting up heavy pipes. The workers ask him who he is, to which Sam replies, he's Nova, the superhero. Trying to come up with a quick reason as to why he's there, he starts stumbling and tells them that he's only there because the fire department apparently doesn't have a system to help Sam flying through buildings, and Spider-Man told him to stay out of his way, and he really seemed like he meant it, and you know what, ever since he got all this power, he really hasn't helped a single person. One worker steps up and tells Sam that he is a hero for helping them clean up this mess, and that he should start trying to take it slow before rushing off into all of this superhero stuff. Back on the moon, the Watcher looks down to see Sam starting his progress on being a real hero. But as the worker finishes his talk with Sam, Thanos is also about ready to make his move. In lunar orbit, Thanos looks off into space as one of his generals tells him that there is still a remaining member of the Nova Corps that defeated him before. However, Thanos has other things that he needs to take care of, so he tells his general to send Caldera to finally put an end to this Nova Force annoyance. Back in Carefree, Robbie and Vance watch over Sam as he finishes restoring the skate park, but before leaving, Sam tells everyone that he needs to go back home, and Carrie, his friend, walks up and asks him, so where is home exactly? Carrie actually knows that it's Sam, she's really suspicious of that, but he tries to keep his identity secret and he flies off. As he takes off into the air, he begins yelling at his helmet, telling him to mask his voice. He's so furious that she was able to figure out that it's Sam, but then he realizes that he took off his helmet, and the Nova suit starts to leave Sam's body. Sam then starts trying to yell and grab a hold of the helmet before crashing back down into the skate park just as they finish repairing it. Over in orbit, Proxima begins letting Caldera go for her purpose: kill the last Nova Corps member. Back on Earth, Sam wakes up in the back of Vance and Robbie's truck. Robbie tries to explain what happened, that he and Vance were trying to recruit him for their team, and shocked by all of this, Sam quickly grabs a metal pipe and slams it down on Robbie's face. Robbie begins to change into Speedball, but Vance tells him that Sam is already leaving. Robbie then calls back out to Sam, and Sam turns around asking if he turned down the Avengers, why would he join them? He's never even heard of them! Vance then steps in to tell Sam that the team they're making is going to miss having a Nova with them. And Sam asks, what do they even know about the Novas? Speedball tells him, a lot. They should probably go somewhere to talk about it. Across town, back at Sam's house, Sam's mother calls out to his sister, telling her dinner is almost ready, when Caldera shows up asking where Sam is. That's when Sam finally gets home and he notices that something smells. He runs into his house to see a fire starting to spread, and in the living room, Caldera sits with his sister in her arms and his mother bound. You've made a big mistake, Sam tells her, but Caldera tells him that she is here to take the helmet that he wears, and she wishes to fight him properly, not with the Nova Force behind him. Sam gives Robbie the helmet and everyone makes their way out as Sam and Caldera begin to have their battle. Caldera tells him that she has disarmed the bonds that were on his mother, and if he wins the fight, she will spare her life. But if she wins, he will have the choice to either die first or watch his own mother die. Just as Sam tells her that that's a real bummer way to start a fight, she punches him right in the face. Caldera keeps beating on Sam and he isn't even fighting back. Sam tells her that he doesn't like to fight bullies and she is just being one. And then he continues to tell her that he's not interested in fair fighting bullies, so he turns back to Robbie and Vance asking for help. Vance tosses over the Nova helmet and the suit begins to cover Sam. Caldera calls him a coward. How can you call yourself a Nova? Depends on who you ask. Sam then launches a beam right into Caldera, throwing her into a building so that he can free his mom, and then he flies back in for another attack. When Sam reaches her though, the two teleport back to the slaughterhouse in orbit. While Sam tries to figure out where they are, he notices a Nova helmet on the ground. Picking it up, he hears the words, "Transfer complete." Before he can figure it all out, Caldera comes running in with an axe. He knocks her down and with a final punch, he knocks her out. Aliens then begin to gather around him, and that's when a small alien begins to step up. The small alien tells the other aliens that Caldera failed to kill this Nova, but if they do not succeed, their failure will be linked to hers. The small alien moves in close, and Sam asks what he's doing. So the small alien just tells him, "You'll see." Robbie and Vance help Sam's mom in putting out the fire when Sam shows up outside. Sam tries to explain to his mom who Robbie and Vance are, but she interrupts him, stating that they can all talk it out over dinner. And she already knows about his new team. Up in orbit, Caldera wakes up bound. The little alien from before tells her how she has failed to kill the Nova. Proxima tells her how she is now condemned to the Midnight Sphere, where she will be tortured and not allowed to die. With a push of a button, the small alien seals Caldera. Back on Earth, Sam begins to tell the tale about how he was the only one able to help the Avengers. But before long, Robbie bursts his bubble. Everyone sits around the table going over a contract that would allow Sam to be a part of the New Warriors. Sam never agreed to this, but it's cool, they cleared it with his mom. I was personally asked by Thor, a god, to join the Avengers and you wouldn't let me. But these losers drive up and ask me to join and you say yes? Sam continues his rant and tells Robbie and Vance that they need to leave. Well, about that, we don't have any money or a place to stay. And they all look to Sam's mother, but it looks like she already agreed to let them stay. Mom, what did you do? Sam yells. The three boys all go to bed, and that's when Sam hears a knock at the window. At first, Sam ignores it, but when he gets up, he can see that it's Carrie. Carrie wanted to talk about everything, but Sam tells her that he has company over. Looking back, he can still hear Robbie sleep talking about seeing Sam's mom, and that's when he quickly changes his mind. Maybe it would be a good idea to get out. Carrie knows that she saw Sam as Nova and she wants to know more about it. Sam tells her that even if he is that Nova character, he would need to keep a secret identity a secret, and he can only tell those that he trusts. And at that moment, a book hits Sam in the back of the head. Carrie begins to yell at Sam. I saw you cleaning up the bathrooms with your dad, and you never said a word for 3 years. The only reason Moffat knew it was you is because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Take your secret identity and choke on it. And then Carrie storms off. Sam begins thinking to himself that that's not what he wanted to have happen. He wanted to tell her, and that's when Sam gets interrupted by his own mother calling for him. She told him that she was supposed to know before he goes out as Nova, but he tries to explain that Carrie came over. You're telling people that you're Nova? Sam tells her to stomp it and he begins to put his helmet on. What are you? Don't you dare, Sam Alexander! And with a whoosh of the suit covering him, Sam flies off. Why won't anyone listen to me, Sam says as he takes off towards the moon. And once he gets there, he asks the Watcher, what is he supposed to do? He's a galactic hero now, right? And the Watcher says nothing. Exactly! I should be with the real heroes like the Avengers, not hanging out with losers like the New Warriors. Sam begs for the Watcher to give him something, and then a light appears. The Watcher begins to project images of the old Nova, Richard Rider, fighting. As the old Nova continues to fight, Sam could see members of the New Warriors behind him. The images continued to change until it stopped on the Avengers. They were fighting Thanos, and in the back was Nova being ignored. With that, Sam comes to realize that he should be helping the Warriors. Back on Earth, Sam agrees to join the New Warriors with his mom's permission. And Robbie tells him that it is the right thing to do. This is going to be a great fit. They have made a lot of prime superheroes out of the immature, impulsive brats. As Vance and Robbie drive away, Sam's mom asks why he changed his mind. The bald guy in the moon put me in my place. I'm not supposed to be an Avenger. I'm supposed to help out the heroes who get picked on, like me. His mother hugs him, telling him that he's such a good boy, but still grounded for flying away last night. Since when can you ground a Nova? But up in space, back on the moon, the Watcher has a slight grin on his face. I hope you guys enjoyed this Nova story. We are going to take a break from our Green Lantern stories to bring you more Marvel-oriented space stories like Nova until we complete it. Then we'll go back to the Green Lanterns. If you want to chat about this or any other video, follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian and follow me on Instagram at Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys later.